Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well, and I'm back with another Plan With Me video for the month of May. So this is kind of special for me because it's been exactly 1 year since I started bullet journaling, and it's been a really fun journaling year. So I know that the situation we're in, it's not getting any better, and it's really easy to fall into a pit of darkness. So the theme for me is actually fireflies. I feel like the concept of fireflies could be a bit motivational for this time, and also the color yellow is generally associated with happiness, so I hope it drops some happiness onto us. For the cover, I just wrote May in a cursive font and added a small calendar right below it. I made a few fireflies around it and colored small circles around them. This obviously doesn't have to be perfect in any way, and my circles are actually offset, and I feel like it makes it look better. I also added a few yellow and black dots all over the page to make it look a little bit more complete before I started with my quote page. So I started out by making a small jar with a tiny branch inside it and grass around the jar so it looks like it's sitting in a field. You can add more grass if you like, but I was really going for that minimal look, so I added it to one side only. I wrote below the jar "Shine Your Light" to tie it up with the whole firefly theme and to also give off a little bit of motivation. So now for the calendar spread. I'm using a double spread calendar, and I wrote May on top and made a yellow line for the top of the calendar where I'll be writing the days of the week before proceeding to the calendar itself. Sometimes I feel like making the calendar can be a little bit tedious, but it's also really important, and I know that a lot of people use different type of calendars, but I feel like this one suits me a lot better. After I made my calendar, I made a growth tracker on the left and a few fireflies all around the calendar and colored them in. Again, I added a few black and yellow dots all around the page to make it look a little bit more complete before moving on to the next spread. For the mood tracker this month, I decided to make an open jar with a bunch of fireflies flying around it. As usual, I wrote mood tracker on top and proceeded to draw my idea. So for this particular page, I made the fireflies a little bit differently. I decided to omit the extra details and just made 2 wings and a dot as its face to save a lot of time. And for the key, I just used 3 yellow tones to color in the fireflies. For the habit tracker, I wrote habit tracker on top and added a few fireflies around the heading. I then used 2 tones of yellow for each tracker, alternating in between. And this time, instead of writing on the dates, I just made boxes so I can fill them in with a yellow color. And before I could properly complete the spread, my camera got off for some reason and I literally didn't even know. But all I did was add a few more fireflies at the bottom along with a few black and yellow dots to finish off the spread. So for my expense tracker, I made a very simple layout. I've been using this layout ever since I started tracking my expenses because it's just so easy and convenient. I did add a little bit of grass and flowers at the bottom left of the page and a few fireflies all around the expense tracker itself. Besides this, I made a gratitude list. My gratitude list has been a constant for me almost ever since I started journaling, and the layout has been pretty much the same. I made a thick line on each side of the actual gratitude list, keeping 15 days on one side and 16 on the other. And as I had some space below, I decided to write a teeny tiny quote that says, "Look on the right side." And right beside it, I made a small hanging jar in grass below it. The element of grass made the whole spread look really cohesive all together, and of course after adding a bunch of fireflies, I used the lightest gray marker I have to make alternate lines for both of the trackers so it's easier to fill them out. So the next spread I did was a self-care bingo. I feel like in this time we really need a spread all to ourselves where we can actually have fun and also fulfill our self-care needs. So I made a table of 5 by 5 and wrote a bunch of stuff that I consider self-care. I also made 4 smaller boxes under each box, which basically represents all the weeks in the month. You can totally do this for a single day, and it's probably meant to be for a single day, but I wanted to do it for the whole month, hence I made the smaller boxes within each box so I could track for each week. So anyways, I added small doodles regarding each self-care habit, and after that I colored them in. And right next to it I made a brain dump page. I don't use brain dump pages all that often, but I decided to make one for this month because there are a lot of things I'm trying to plan and do, and a brain dump page comes a lot in handy when you need to organize your thoughts. So the last part of the month is my weekly setup. For my weeklies, I decided to keep 1 week on one page since there's not much going on in my daily schedule. I started out by writing May on the top left and adding a few fireflies. I then made 6 yellow circles on one page and 7 on the other. I later decided to separate them by lines and keep them as a table, otherwise with all of the days being so close to each other, it could have gotten messy. I proceeded to add the days of the weeks on each circle and added a few fireflies here and there, and that was it. Before we move on to the flip through, I'd like to thank you all for watching these videos and subscribing and leaving comments. It's really the only source of motivation, and I can't tell you how happy I feel whenever I read comments under my videos. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this theme. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite spread was. Mine was definitely the expense and gratitude page. And if you guys enjoyed this video, do leave a like and share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!